Just a few hours now before we can start putting colours on this map on the floor in the 2016 presidential election. For now, we had to be content looking at the last result in 2012 between Mitt Romney for the Republicans and Barack Obama. And it looks, doesn't it, as if there's so much red here, Romney must have won. But of course, he didn't. He didn't win in the Electoral College. Piling up Electoral College votes is how you do it. Each state has a certain number. And the rods tell the story here. The height of the rod corresponds to the weight of the state in the election. So just between me and you is Texas, that big red column, 38 Electoral College votes. If I make my way round here, round towards the eastern side, past the Midwest, past the Rust Belt states, down the East Coast, you can see an interesting junction here where red meets blue. The lowest blue rod is Virginia, went to Obama last time, and the rod next to it, the red one, is North Carolina. That went to Romney. Surely Trump has to keep North Carolina to have a chance of winning in this election. Around here, by the way, must mention California, the biggest rod of all, 55 Electoral College votes, although pretty much sewn up for the Democrats. The focus is on those states that are in play. We put them on the wall. You can see, can't you, how dominant Barack Obama was. Colorado went Democrat with 9, Florida 29, Michigan 16, Pennsylvania and Ohio. Trump needs to be taking probably more than half of these flashing states to have a chance of getting into the White House. It's an awfully big task for him. How does he do it? He has to motivate, turbocharge his core voters. Let's look at how the voting breaks down in the polls. So men tend to go for Trump by a margin of 10 or just over 10%. For Hillary Clinton, it's women where she's in the lead. But if you look at racial breakdown, it's all rather different. So if I just come around the front of this graph, you can see here that among Hispanics and black voters, Hillary Clinton is absolutely dominant. Look here, 40% ahead with Hispanics and 80% ahead with black Americans who vote. But this is where Trump is hoping lies his advantage. He has a lead of about 14-15% among white voters. He has to hope that that counts for him because there are more of them voting than minority voters. And in some states, that is definitely the case. So if you look at Wisconsin, for example, which went blue last time, the white vote is 82%. It's just dominant. Trump surely can try to get Wisconsin using this strategy of supercharging his base. But have a look at Florida. Very different story. Go back to the days of Reagan, the early 80s. This was the state's breakdown in terms of racial profile, 77% white, and the minorities, all of them together, adding up to only about 20%. Move forward 35 years and watch. Now we see, and this, by the way, is the story of changing America, modern America, down to 55% white in Florida. And it's Hispanics who are now 24%. The black population hasn't moved that much. Hispanics, 1 in 4 voters in Florida. Donald Trump has to hope that by getting an excess of white voters out for him, he can somehow discount those among Hispanics and black voters who are going for Hillary Clinton. It is a very, very big task for the Republican challenger, not least because of the ground he needs to make up since the 2012 election. But clearly there is a logic to the strategy.